Dr. Bawumia, he came, he made all the noises possible. He claimed he was the economic messiah. He gave lectures after lectures, told us how he had worked at Bank of Ghana and other international organizations. And then when he got given the chance, what happened? Inflation, unemployment, debt stock, balance of payments, import bill, foreign reserve, they were all facing the wrong side. I'm very sure that Dr. Bawumia himself would have gone and sat somewhere quietly if it wasn't for the wife who wants to be a first lady rather so very badly.
Adeɛ baako a wɔn say ebra Kennedy unity na brewe mu na come say all the angle former ministers ahemfo asofo obi a say leader here this time around Kennedy akompre Japan na atim kunti hene baako akasa ohempom baako akasa na menya na dini ya mfanche na ne nsema waka no na emu du a person ne wo kire wa comment section of mama na share this video what you say Bawumia is not the option say NPP and then beba na NPP the Bawumia ba there is no way so bit me because Bawumia and some more kan ya say wo bobo na bo na mo bo obi gina nchen mitimi abo na ade bebo no wantimi say ni pedie na obeka convince obi Bawumia say economy man yi na Ghana for na na do mo kofa no de be se wo gbanyan enso wantimi anye entity na this time Bawumia betimi aka kire Ghana for ti say NPP de Bawumia ba de omo be use poto and Kennedy is the best na kasa no edru baby na annice so ye ne modu papa na me pese ma gina nansem na ka bebere baby kura ho no mani o twafa aspirant for ni na twa ye omu nyina ho na ede na ma na kasa asem se Bawumia is not the option Bawumia Kennedy nyame boan kakra obi etinase na pese agibre na ikuti na travel conversation Gemfi Media 24 yankoni nkuti travel emam.
The NPP that we knew, the new patriotic party, those people, the men of ideal and integrity, those that sought to hoist the flag of Ghana with patriotism, are not the group we have today. Look, the NPP of Darocha, Sakiskek, Victor Owusu, Kofi Buzia, Professor Edubuahen, Alajete, J.A. Kufuor, those men of value, those men of integrity are not what we have today. I tell you without mincing words, the 5 people who are contesting, wanting to be flag bearers, are just sankwas compared to those. I call them the sankwas 5. If President Mahama should decide to contest, this is how the scale will be. All the sankwas 5, Dr. Bawumia, Honorable Kennedy Japan, Dr. Brian Champong, Educhum, Honorable Kwabena, all 5 of them should not even go and choose one. It should be all 5 of them on one ballot paper against President Mahama. And this is how the scale will be. All of them there, and then Mahama here. You see, let me take it one by one so it makes more sense. Dr. Bawumia, he came, he made all the noises possible. He claimed he was the economic messiah. He gave lectures after lectures, told us how he had worked at Bank of Ghana and other international organizations. And then when he got given the chance, What happened? Inflation, unemployment, debt stock, balance of payments, import bill, foreign reserve. They were all facing the wrong side. Look, I have arrested the CD. He's been locked up and the key is with the IGP. Only for the CD to break jail, grow wings, and fly out from 4 cedis to $1 to about 17 cedis when he left office. You see, we all like the game of football. And a few times we get familiar with the so-called player who will be on the touchline. He will make all the noise, point out all the mistakes. Oh, you should have passed. Oh, you should have headed rather than chest. Oh, you should shoot. And then the coach decides that, okay, looks like you are good. Come on. And then he comes on. And then the opponent starts giving him sulia. And even when there is a stable ball and an empty net, and he has to just shoot it in, and he just kicks the air and leaves the ball there. That's Ampahon. And then the players and the coach, they get fed up. And then they send him back to the touchlines. You see, when that person starts making noise again, don't you think people will think there's something wrong with him? Maybe he's just an empty barrel, just fond of making noise, just noise. What is there for Dr. Bawumia to prove now? Does he still think the fundamentals are weak? You see, people must genuinely want to be president, not just because of the power, the privilege, or the opportunity to steal, but a genuine feeling, demonstrable feeling that they can do better than the incumbent government administration. That is what should prompt people. I'm very sure that Dr. Bawumia himself would have gone and sat somewhere quietly if it wasn't for the wife who wants to be a first lady rather so very badly. I think the wife's ambition overshadows his own. As a matter of fact, if Dr. Bawumia becomes president, he will be the third person in control. I think so. I think the first person in charge of the actual country will be President Akufo-Addo and his Gabi Ochridako and co. They will actually be in charge. And then the second person will be, of course, his wife, who will be our first slave queen lady. And before it comes to Dr. Bawumia himself. Look, when you have done enough, you see, you should know when your time is up, especially as he's been given the chance. Then let's go to Brian Achampong, Dr. Brian Achampong. Was it not the same man at the center of the mass shootings, the violence, the attempted murders at Ayawaso West Wagon by-election when he was Minister in State of National Security? Was it not? The last time I heard, he denied that he had anything to do with what happened there, though he was the Minister for National Security. That in itself, that admission in itself disqualifies him. That means that small unit of national security you couldn't handle. How can you handle the whole Ghana Army, the armed forces, the Navy, the police? You just can't handle that small section that you were given. Was it not the same person who wanted to buy state property at just a fraction of its real price? Such selfish person. Businessman. Look, let him bring his business-mindedness to rule Ghanaians. And then you realize that we'll wake up one morning and all our state enterprises will be signed off to him and his company. And if you dare challenge, he will set the national security to brutalize you. Is that the sort of person you want as president? No. He stood somewhere and insinuated that even if they lost, they would never yield power to the NDC. We all heard it. That is not a precedent material. Then we go to Professor Duchum, whose only claim to power was that he was a minister of education. The worst minister of education. Under him, the curriculum was changed, but they had not foreknowledge that they needed to provide textbooks to teach the new curriculum. Look at what's happening today. WASSCE results. And they think it's just because it started this year. You make a whole group go through all the education for about 5 years without the right textbooks. When a good government comes and the children are being tested properly in the way they should and they fail, whose fault is it? This same man, under him, SHS feeding, the food that they got, even his dogs would not eat that food. And he thinks he's the best man to lead Ghanaians. And then let's go to Honorable Kwabena Japan. Not too much, except that his arrogance and incompetence resulted in President Kufuor sacking him as press secretary. And the same arrogance and incompetence resulted him in being sacked as general secretary. And now he thinks the same arrogance and incompetence is what's going to push him to be the leader of government in Ghana. No way. So you see, all 5 of them could be on one ballot paper, standing for NPP. And President Mahama, if he were to contest, would have gotten 80% and not even 20% for all 5 of them. The NPP should actually sit back, groom people of intelligence, people who are not selfish, people who can actually deliver for them, just like their forebears. Because even if you were at the opposition or opposing side, you would still recognize that those men who formed New Patriotic Party, remember the name, the word is patriotic, not this selfish lot who come with an agenda to loot. They should groom people. They are even better off sitting out 2028. Groom somebody. Maybe somebody like Patrick Bawumia has shown a few glimpses of honesty and some wisdom. People like him and others can be groomed. But anybody that had anything to do with Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia administration should just be jettisoned out of the party. Should not have any position at all. You see, I mentioned that name not just because I think he will be a good material for us. For me, as in a beautiful game of football, it is always best enjoyed when you have both teams prepare and perform at their best. Democracy thrives when the opposition is strong, when the opposition prefers alternatives. They are the shadow government. You see, they are all chasano in nimsen chia. So, when you have an opposition who is as blind as a bat, standing behind and then you think you are going the straight line, is that possible? We mean good for Ghana. If they bring good opposition, people of integrity, at least they will give us a good run, a good competition to choose the best person to run the country. So yes, President Mahama should, if he can, stand, and I'm sure the whole of Ghana will be behind him. But if he doesn't stand, I will be happy. I will be happy because to give him the opportunity to come for a third time insinuates that we can give the same opportunity to one Nana Akufo-Addo to also come for a third time. Tofiakwa. I cringe at the thought of that. So if it's just because of that, then I'll be happy he doesn't come. And if he doesn't come, NDC, we have men of valor, men of value, men of intrepidity, men who are ready to step into the floodlight, take the baton and run with it. Under accountability, good governance, selflessness, and love for Mother Ghana. Look, let me mention Dr. Atuforsen. The young man has a good head on his shoulders. Determined. Wherever you put him, he will work. You see, when fate dealt us the red card, and he became both our goalkeeper and our top striker, nobody thought he could handle that. But he has done incredibly. Look at what he has done to the economy. 2 crucial, critical ministries under one person. One young shoulder. And he's performed so very well. We have the man. Look at our chief of staff. The best chief of staff we have had in Ghana, if you ask me. I call him the humble lion. So level-headed. Your typical example of a leader. We have the man. Look at Haruna Idrisu. Honorable. Utility player. Wherever you put him, he performs. Success driven. We have the man. Look, when they start talking about money, and I have money, and Kennedy Japan, and Brian Asampon, and Dr. Bawumia, and I bought this for the party, and I did this, I laugh. If because of money, we will bring in Ibrahim Mahama. He is more wealthy. He is more handsome than them. He is well respected. He is level-headed. He is more patriotic. Yes, we have the man. Look at General Mosquito. As fine a politician as the seasoned finest of wines. He knows politics like the back of his hands. Indefatigable. He thrives under duress and under pressure. We have the men and the women too. I could go on and on and on. But lest I forget, you know me, I say it as it is. I would plead with General Mosquito, and this is my humble plea, my opinion. I wish he doesn't contest for the flag bearership. I wish. Why do I say that? Ever since the passing on of His Excellency President Rawlings, General Mosquito has become our Abusuapeni. And as an Abusuapeni, se ahinkonya etwa na apere ne ba Abusuapeni anhwe ye no kopre bia abusuane timibo. He should be that center pillar that can hold the periphery. If President Mahama doesn't contest, there will be a lot of scramble. And 2028 can only be lost by the NDC if the NDC chooses to lose it. And I wish he will be that gel which will pull all the scrambled parts together. He can remain as the general, as the chairman, because I doubt if anybody can dare contest and overcome him anyway. And by so doing, be the institution or the head of that institution that can bring that togetherness that we need after the scramble. Quite honestly, if he should run and lose, it will be almost a political suicide. But he's too valuable to be lost that way. So I would beg him to reconsider. Of course, if he decides to go, we will all still be with him and campaign when he wins, with him, by him, and for him, because NDC is the ultimate winner and Ghana will be the ultimate winner. But that is just my humble plea. So yeah.